You meet someone new today, a cashier, a coworker, someone at a party. Within a tenth of a second, before they even finish their sentence, your brain has already decided something about them. Trustworthy or not, safe or not, friend or threat. You didn't choose this. You didn't even notice it happening. But the real answer to why you do this is far stranger than instinct. It's a survival system built for a world that no longer exists, still running inside you right now. Think about the last time you passed a stranger on the street. Did you glance at their hands? Their eyes? The set of their jaw? You probably don't remember doing it. That's the point. This process happens beneath conscious thought. Fast, automatic, ancient. Psychologist Alexander Todorov at Princeton spent years studying this exact moment. He showed people photographs of unfamiliar faces for just 1/10 of a second, barely enough time to blink. And still, participants formed confident judgments about trustworthiness, competence, and dominance. The judgments didn't change much, even when people were given more time to look. Your brain had already made up its mind before your conscious thought caught up. Why would evolution build something this fast? Because for most of human history, hesitation could kill you. Picture a small band of early humans on the African savanna, maybe 50,000 years ago. A stranger appears at the edge of camp. You have no phone to call for backup, no police, no way to check their record. In that moment, you have seconds, maybe less, to decide, does this person mean harm? Those who guessed wrong too often didn't survive to pass on their genes. Those who developed fast, reliable threat detection systems did. This is what researchers call the ancestral environment problem. Your brain was not designed for cities of millions. It was designed for small groups of maybe 50 to 150 people, a number popularized by anthropologist Robin Dunbar and now known as Dunbar's number. In a group that size, you knew almost everyone. A true stranger was rare. And rare meant dangerous because strangers didn't share your alliances, your history, your reasons to cooperate. So your brain built a shortcut. Fast facial judgment. Trust or don't trust. Approach or avoid. It wasn't perfect. It didn't need to be perfect. It just needed to be fast enough, often enough, to keep you alive. Here's where it gets stranger. Todorov's research found that certain facial features consistently trigger trust judgments across cultures, regardless of who's actually looking at them. Wider eyes, slightly raised eyebrows, features that resemble surprise or openness. These aren't necessarily connected to actual trustworthiness at all. A con artist can have a trustworthy face. A cautious, honest person can have features your brain misreads as threatening. The system isn't reading character. It's pattern matching against ancient survival cues that have nothing to do with who someone actually is. Does that unsettle you? It should. A little. Because it means the confident snap judgment you feel when you meet someone isn't wisdom. It's a guess dressed up as certainty. Consider what happened in what psychologists call the trust game, a classic experiment used across dozens of studies since the 1990s. One person is given money and a choice. Send some to a stranger, trusting they'll return a fair share, or keep it all. Researchers found that people's decisions in this game correlated strongly with split-second facial judgments made before the stranger even spoke a word. Money changed hands based on a face glimpsed for a fraction of a second. Real decisions, real consequences, built on a system evolved for a world of 50 people, not 8 billion. Now think about what this means today. You're not living on the savannah anymore. You're living in a world flooded with strangers. You pass hundreds of unfamiliar faces a week. Online, you encounter thousands more, reduced to a profile photo and a few lines of text. Your ancient trust system, built for rare encounters with people who mattered to your survival, is now firing constantly on people it will never actually need to judge correctly. This mismatch has a name in evolutionary psychology. Evolutionary mismatch, the idea that a trait shaped by an ancient environment can become miscalibrated in a radically different modern one. Your appetite for sugar, built for scarce fruit in the wild, now misfires in a world of endless snack aisles. Your facial trust system, built for tiny bands of familiar faces, now misfires in a world of strangers at scale. Anthropologist Sarah Blaffer Hardy has written extensively about how human cooperation depended on more than instinct. It depended on shared caregiving, extended kin networks, and mutual trust built over repeated contact. That repeated contact is exactly what's missing in a world of Uber drivers, online sellers, and swiped dating profiles. You're asking a system built for repeated personal familiarity to make snap judgments about people you'll see exactly once. So what happens when the system gets it wrong? A lot, it turns out. Todorov's later research found that facial trust judgments quietly influence hiring decisions, loan approvals, and even courtroom outcomes. Judges and jurors who believe they are reasoning carefully are still partly guided by the same tenth of a second facial read that once decided whether a stranger at the edge of camp meant danger. Here's the twist you might not expect. This system isn't just about protecting you from others. It's about deciding, in an instant, whether cooperation is worth the risk. Trust, at its core, is a bet. Ancient humans who never took that bet, who treated every stranger as a threat, missed out on trade, alliances, and the spread of ideas that let small bands grow into larger, more resilient groups. The ones who trusted too easily got exploited and sometimes killed. Evolution didn't produce a perfect judge of character. It produced a working compromise, calibrated by millions of small bets made across thousands of generations. You are the current draft of that compromise, not a finished product. A draft still running ancient code in a modern world it was never built for. Does knowing this change anything? A little, and maybe more than you'd expect. Once you know your snap judgment of a stranger's face is not a read of their character, but a flicker of ancestral pattern matching, you can choose to slow down. Todorov himself has noted that deliberate second-pass reasoning can override the first impression given enough time and attention. The fast system fires first, but it doesn't have to have the final word. So the next time you meet someone new and something in you instantly decides friend or threat, trustworthy or not, remember what's actually happening. It's not judgment, it's not wisdom, and it's certainly not truth. It's 50,000 years of survival pressure compressed into a tenth of a second, still trying to protect a version of you that no longer exists. You meet someone new today, and before they finish their sentence, an ancestor you never met has already decided what to think of them.